Welcome back to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat, and with me is Naveen Kukreja, and we're talking about ULIPs in its new avatar. Naveen, can you run down some of the low-cost ULIPs available online? You were stressing on the fact that a number of them are only available online because they are not being distributed through distributors.
Yeah, primarily because they are very low cost ULIPs, and it doesn't provide enough incentives for the offline distribution, and hence it's not getting distributed through the offline distribution. There are quite a few online ULIPs available now. Examples are like from HDFC, Bajaj, Aegon, Aviva, Edelweiss. I would suggest that go online, look at these insurers, or better still go to a comparison site like ours and look at all the options which are available to you as a consumer, and then look at different features of the time horizon. Typically they will allow you to invest if you are 18 years or above. Typically the horizon ranges between 5 and 25 years. So choose the horizon very wisely in terms of how long do you want to invest it for, and whether you can afford to pay premiums for that long. Look at the expense ratios or the charges mentioned, and also look at the sum assured. It should be 10 times the premium. If that's the case, then the tax exemption applies, and then you can safely kind of invest in this plan.
You'd also mentioned, and that's a concern a lot of people have, is about the timeline. Finances change. People are not able to continue paying the premium for many years. Sometimes it happens. Emergencies come up. What provisions does ULIP have in that sense?
So it's a very good point. So while I'm saying that it should be for long term, like you said, consumers sometimes cannot. So the regulator brought in a condition wherein now, if you have missed paying premium, let's say after 2 years, and you can no longer continue to pay for whatever reason, you have financial difficulties, what happens is the insurer has to give you the surrender charges are very low. So the surrender charges from second year onwards are as low as 20% or 3,000 rupees, whichever is lower. And as you kind of invest for more years, the surrender charges continue to go down. After 5 years, there are no surrender charges. But even within the first 5 years, let's say you invested for 2 years and you can't continue any longer, the insurer gives you the option of either reviving the policy within a span of 2 years,
right,
or if you can't even revive it, they put your funds which you have accumulated so far into a different fund called discontinuance fund. Now that's interesting because that's a different fund. The insurers can only charge a certain amount that's been capped by the regulator, and they invest in a money market instrument which typically has a growth rate of 7 to 8%, which is like a fixed deposit rate or a gilt rate. So that your funds are lying there for the next 3 years if you've come out after 2 years, and at the end of the 5 years you get the funds that you invested in the discontinuous funds plus the growth that has happened. So all the growth that has happened in that fund, the insurer is supposed to pass back to you as a consumer.
Right. So certain comfort. There's a certain comfort in doing that now, as opposed to earlier.
Yeah, there's a lot of comfort. So in case for any emergency you can't continue for even 5 years, your funds, you will not have a loss. It will go into discontinuous funds, where usually while the insurer has to guarantee 4% return, but usually what we've seen is that the returns so far have been in the range of 7 to 8%, in some cases even slightly higher.
Right. Well, it's time to take questions from our viewers. We've got Anisha, who's 28 years old, and she had opted for a ULIP, and she's already paid 4 to 5 installments. However, her recent statement showed that the valuation of her investment has gone down tremendously. She does not feel very confident of the returns of investment for the next 10 years. That's the time horizon that she had. She wants to know if she should continue investing in a ULIP, or should she opt for an alternative investment option.
Anisha, unfortunately you haven't mentioned when exactly did you invest, and like we talked about in the show, 2010 is when the new regulations came out. However, from what you've said, it looks like it might be before 2010. What I would suggest is that speak to your insurance provider, understand what are the surrender charges if you have to surrender now. If the surrender charges are significant, and the thumb rule could be if the surrender charges are higher than 20-25% of your fund value, I would suggest do not close the policy right now. What also happens is that in the old plans, the charges were front loaded, which means that in the first few years the charges were typically very high, and in the later years the charges were very low. So now that you've crossed 5 years, the charges would be low. So even if you continue for a few years till the surrender charges come down, it may not be a bad idea. So I would suggest find out what your surrender charges are, and if they are high, do not surrender now.
Right, we've got Anil Sharma, who's 63 years old and would like to know if it would be appropriate for him to invest in a unit-linked insurance plan. We've been talking about the advantages of ULIPs and how they've really transformed the last year or so.
Yeah, we've been talking about that, but Anil, my advice to you is that ULIP is not the right product for you given your age, because ULIP, like I said, has a sum assured built into that, which means that there'll be mortality charges, and given your age, the mortality charges would be a huge component of the premium you pay. So ULIP is not the right product for you at this age.
Right. So what could he look at?
So from a savings perspective, I would suggest that invest in a fixed income return depending on the horizon. So if he's looking for a regular income plan, then there are income plans from non-insurance, but like a PPF or a postal office deposit or a normal fixed deposit. If he's looking at a longer term horizon, he could go for mutual fund. ULIP, I'm saying ULIP, not ULIP, because it has a mortality charge.
Right, and we talked about advantages of investing in ULIPs at a younger age. Well, we've got Rishi, who's 30 years old, wants to know if investment in market-linked insurance plans is a good option, given that he's averse to risk. He wants to opt for a plan that would give him a higher return in the future. So a higher return, but averse to risk. Kind of a
don't go hand in hand, like you said. Higher return and averse to risk do not go hand in hand. So risk return is a simple equation. The more risk you take, there's likelihood that in a long term you will get higher return. However, given your age, you're very young, you're 30 years old, I would suggest that go invest in a ULIP. Even if you have a lower risk appetite, you can go for a low risk fund option or a balanced fund option, which invests in a mix of equity and debt. Even if you don't want to take that risk, also go for a debt option, which will give a debt like return, which is 7-8% in the current environment, but do not expect higher returns. However, if your horizon is long, I would suggest go for the equity option. Over a 5-year period, it almost always has outstripped the gains that a secured income option would give you.
Right, Naveen, thanks a lot. That's all the time that we have on this episode. But we're going to be talking about our weekly quiz. In our 4th episode, we asked you a question about tax exemptions on premium paid towards child plan falls under what section of the Income Tax Act. The correct answer is Section 80C. Congratulations, Pradeep Murthy. You won a gift voucher worth 1,000 rupees. And now it's time to take our next weekly quiz. Answer this simple question and win exciting rewards. What is the lock-in period for investing in ULIPs? So what is the lock-in period for investing in ULIPs? Now you can send in your entries to queries at policybazaar.com. But that's all the time. Thanks, Naveen, once again for joining us on this show of Policy Bazaar. You can tweet us at Twitter at policybazaar_in or email us at queries@policybazaar.com. Goodbye.